What's up, guys? Johnny Chase here, the Cheating Horror, and the Xbox conference just ended for 2015 at E3. And man, I got a lot to talk about on this. And first thing I gotta say, if I'm gonna give it a grade, I'm gonna give my grading right away. I give it a solid B plus. There's one thing that they kind of tripped over, but I'll get to that. But Phil Spencer, I'll give him to his credit. Ever since Don Matrick fucked everything up a couple years ago by saying always online, always DRM. If you don't have internet, too bad. Go get a 360. They kicked his ass to the curb. He went to Zynga. Then he fucked up there, and who knows what the fuck he's doing now. And Phil Spencer took over and was just like, okay, we got to rebuild this company. We got to make it about the game because we've lost too much faith. So many people went over to Sony. We gotta get him back. And man, like, this was all about the games. There was only one moment that they talked about new technology, and they didn't even talk about it for that long. So, good conference overall. Opening video, nice, showing your exclusive, showing a nice, new voiceovers from the Carmella girl who does Lara Croft, Spartan, or they got some, John Maggio doing some stuff with Marcus Phoenix, and Lord help me, I can't remember the guy who voices Master Chief, but new video for Master Chief, just talking about, Microsoft experience. Straight up, get right into it. Halo 5, Guardians, going into a 4-player co-op in the campaign on Locke's team, because apparently there's going to be 2 different teams. You're going to have Master Chief and 3 Spartans that apparently were from the novels. I haven't read any of the novels yet. I love the Halo franchise, but I don't love it that much. I haven't even watched Nightfall yet, so I will get around to doing someday. It's interesting to see Nathan Fillion is back as Buck from ODST. Looks like he's traded his ODST armor for Spartan armor. Because I guess the story, and forgive me, I haven't played Halo 4 yet. I'm getting around to that. Melanie actually wants to watch me play the campaign, so we're a little behind on that, but apparently with Halo 4 that they started a new Spartan program after Master Chief went missing after 3, and Buck just happens to be part of it, I guess. I knew this was all pre-recorded. Like, they had 4 people on stage playing, but it was obviously pre-rendered, pre-recorded, because there were some points there where guys were like just squatting for no real reason. They weren't moving as normal players would. It looks interesting. The only real criticism I have with the Halo franchise at this point is that because they left Bungie and they're with 343 now, 343 had to rebuild everything from the ground up. So, to be honest, like, since Halo 4, and I've only played multiplayer Halo 4 as part of the Master Chief Collection, but it just seems that, like, it doesn't feel like Halo anymore. Like, the sounds are all different. It just feels too different. It doesn't feel like Halo. I don't know. It's just a personal thing with me. So they also announced 24-player multiplayer, which is something that I've been kind of griping at for this generation of consoles. Like, for the past 2 generations, the cap has always been 16 players, 8v8. And in the case of Gears, it's 5v5. Like, what is stopping this generation from having more players on screen? I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Battlefield 4 on Hardline, you can have 64 players, and then like 128 on PC. I don't know these numbers offhand. I probably should have researched them beforehand, but you and I barely do research. I'm just happy that the player count is starting to rise up, because my brother was over yesterday, and I had my bachelor party, and the only thing I wanted to do was game. Like, I live in a town with really ratchet strippers. I've been to a strip club once, and they're all ugly. Like, that, granted, that was 10 years ago. That's a side point. Why am I even getting into this? This is part of what I do. I ramble in my vlogs. Anyway, he came over early, and he's just like, what do you want to do? I was like, you haven't played the Xbox One yet, have you? He's like, no. I said, let's pop in Halo. We always have fun playing Halo. And we're going through the game types. It's like, okay, we can play match types in any Halo you want, or you can just throw everything together. And he's just like, big team battle. I always love big team battle, and I always like big team battle too. I love playing with a whole lot of people, especially if you have a lot of people on your friends list and you want to get them into a party, and then go from there. So yeah, and apparently there's going to be this new game type called Warzone, which I don't know if they didn't really describe it a whole lot. It might be single kill, like you know, one kill, you're dead. You don't respawn. But it's like, I think it might be like a territorial system. It's like a mixture of horde mode with something like within like a territorial system. Like, okay, we'll take over this base and this base, and then here comes the Covenant, or here comes the aliens from 4. I don't know the names of them because, like I said, I didn't play 4 yet, and I was trying to avoid all spoilers for that. But of course, the ending got spoiled for me anyway, so it doesn't matter. Now here's something that was interesting. We go over to a new Xbox One exclusive, a new first-party Xbox exclusive, a new IP from Kenji Inafune and the former developers of the Metroid Prime trilogy. Holy, I don't know. Here I thought Kenji Inafune was just focusing on Money Number 9 and the Kickstarter for that, but no, we're getting this game. It's still like it's a CG trailer reveal of it. It's called Recore, and apparently it's like you're playing this girl, and you have this blue orb, which apparently attaches itself to robots, and then they mimic, you know, that model. So in the beginning, she had a dog, and the whole time I'm watching this, I said, that dog gonna die. Dog dies in the trailer. But then she takes the core after they beat like some red core robots, and she puts it into an ancient one that she found. And that kind of transfers over. So it's hard to say if this is going to be like a Borderlands-ish, Destiny-ish type game. Who knows if it's just going to be single-player, multiplayer. We don't know a whole lot about it, but it looks really interesting. And if it's coming from Kenji Inafune, the father of Mega Man, and who's doing Mighty Number 9 right now, might be good. I'm intrigued. So we'll have to wait and see more of it. And Phil Spencer came out and dropped the bombshell of all bombshells. He said himself that the Xbox One engineers didn't think this was possible. Backwards compatibility for 360. Finally. I'm very excited by this because I've been sitting with my Xbox 360 for the longest time. I sometimes will turn it on, but mostly I've switched over to the One. And it sucks because games for gold, you get like 2 titles every month. Like tomorrow we're getting Thief. I think it's Thief 4. We're getting that for free. And then this month, I already have it, so it doesn't matter. Like, I Just Cause 2. And my brother, God bless him, he's moving on from 360. He's got PS4. I don't think he might go to Microsoft. Don't know. When it gets cheaper, maybe. But he just gave me his spindle of all of his 360 games. Half of them which I already own, but he threw in a couple of old CKY DVDs that I gave to him years ago, and I'm glad I got those. Because I was just thinking to myself, I haven't seen those in a while. Anyway, big spindle of that, and I was just like, oh, this is great. And my Elite, it's on its last legs. Like, it's bad. So, and it was getting to a point too where I had like so many external drives that I was swapping them out. I was like, okay, this one's going to be for arcade titles and DLC. This one's going to be for my games for gold. I don't have enough space for my games for gold. Shit. Okay, this one's just going to be for fighting games now. So I ended up getting that 2 terabyte update that they did. But this seals it now. I guess the preview guys are going to get it right now, and then we got to wait till holiday, and then I don't think, not the whole catalog's not going to be available right away, but they're going to have quite a few hundred titles available, so that's exciting. And he said, like, the games on demand stuff will work. My thing is that I'm hoping that it's not a different download. Like, I've got everything currently on a 1 terabyte external drive. And I'm hoping I can just swap that out and plug that into the USB port. Now, the shady thing is that I'm going to have to get a new USB thing, because unless if there's USB on the back, I don't know. I'll have to look at my Xbox One. But so I got a 500 gig on there. I got a terabyte on my Xbox One. So I'm hoping that the way the file formats are, especially with the save files, I want to just be able to plug that into the back and not have to worry about converting anything or spending like literally here, like near my workstation with Ethernet plugged in, it took me maybe a week nonstop to download all my old content and all those games, because it was like, you only had a limit of what you could put in your download queue. I had to keep going back because sometimes some stuff wouldn't download right. It was a pain in the ass, but I've gotten everything now. I just hope that it's as simple as plugging it in and not having to worry about downloading them. And I say, too, that you can actually play from the disc. So I can stick my disc in, put a quick install, and then I'm playing. He was playing Mass Effect 1 on there. And granted, it looked like shit because it was Xbox 360 and Mass Effect 1's, you know, by today's standards, not that great of a looking game, and the frame rate, especially the level he was playing the last fight on the Citadel, that's pretty slow, and the frame rate drops pretty well when you got a bunch of Geth and those energy shields up. But it's going to work with DVRs, live broadcasting on Twitch, game uploads with the upload feature. So yeah, that's exciting. Like, maybe people will find, Phil Spencer even said himself at the end, he's like, if you've been on the fence about getting rid of your 360, come holiday, you'll have the opportunity to do that. You aren't going to get a whole lot of money for it now, but you'll be able to get rid of it. And which is fine with me too, because the only thing I want to hear, though, is that wireless sticks will cross over. Because I've got a bunch of fighting games, and I've got a couple of arcade sticks, and I really want those to be compatible with the Xbox One. So I really don't want to pay $200 and something for a KI stick. Okay, so moving on. They announced the Elite controller, which has these weird shoulder buttons underneath, which I guess are like for if you're playing like a Formula 1 game, and you, like Formula 1 games, you shift underneath that. I don't know. Not really for me. Like, you can hold, like, you can flick the switches to make it so that you can't, like, you know, you can do your rapid trigger fire if you have a pistol. I mean, those are good for, like, those pro guys. I'm fine with the controller I have. That D-pad, though, like, the initial D-pad, and it's just like, oh, precision with this. I was like, I'm not going to be able to play KI with that. No, I need the actual D-pad. But they said you can interchange the parts, so if you don't like sticking your thumb into that little groove, and you like the PS4 where it just pops out, oh, actually, no, PS3. PS4 still has, like, the little nub in there, too. So, if you like nubs, cool. If you just like it popping out, go ahead. If that's your jam, go for it. And they said, like, they fine-tune the analog sticks, too, so that for people who like to change their sensitivity on FPSs, it seems to, like, you'll be able to just, you know, fine-tune that yourself with a controller. And now we've got Bethesda out again, and it's like, you had about, like, what, hour and a half, 2 hours last night. You need another 20 minutes now. And apparently they announced something that they didn't announce at their conference. Now, cool for you Fallout guys. I have never been able to get into an FPS RPG before. Like, I played Fallout 3 until I nuked Megaton. And that was done. I was bored. Never tried New Vegas because I heard it was just buggy as shit. But then again, it's not Bethesda. It's Obsidian, sorry, that did it. I played Oblivion for an hour until Patrick Stewart died and I got bored. Skyrim I could care less about, but this I thought was kind of interesting. If you're into this type of thing, it's pretty cool. He says that mods are the heart of our community, and that's what keeps the game going. So anything that's developed for the PC version of Fallout 4 will be available for the Xbox One version for free. So this is pretty interesting. Like, it's really hard to mod a console game, and even when you can, it doesn't look all that great. I mean, if you know, I don't know how they did it with Project M for Smash Brawl on the Wii. Like, they did some trickery there, but like, it's never easy to do that. I mean, ROM hacks are easy because, you know, you just play it on an emulator, and in some instances now they've been finally able to put them on ROM carts or the actual carts. But it's insane. Like, think that you're going to be able to make mods and put them on the PC, and then put them on the Xbox One. That's pretty cool. I don't really care for that. And okay, this is where I knocked off points. Peter Moore from EA gets on stage to nothing. Nobody cared. He's just like, we all know you're real excited for the next Madden. Woo. You heard one person just be like, ooh, I like Madden. No one gives a fuck about Madden anymore. Like, I think finally franchise fatigue has hit that game, and nobody cares about it. Nobody. Like, it's insane. So and now he starts talking about EA Access like it's something new. It's like this has been out for at least a year, maybe more. And he's just like saying, like, we have a back catalog of all our... It's like, we know what EA Access is. You don't need to tell us again. And then he's just like, well, now it's time for our Titan drop. And he's like, that's right! Titanfall's gonna be in EA Access! And everyone like... Like, nobody cared! It was like, you could hear a pin drop. at that. Like a pin drop. You know how much nobody cares? Is that you periodically put Titanfall Deluxe Edition with all DLC for $15 or less. Like every month. So who cares if I pay $5 a month for your back catalog and then you're gonna put Titanfall on there? Nobody cares. And then he showed a reveal trailer for Garden Warfare 2, which that game never really appealed to me at all. To be honest, like it looks cutesy and it's like a horde mode. But they're like, and they're like showing people throwing in mechs and whatever, and then they put Kenny Loggins' Highway to the Danger Zone in there. Like, unless you're flying F-14 Tomcats or your name's Sterling Archer, don't ever bring up Danger Zone. Yeah, Forza 6, don't care. Forza, I played Forza Fast and Furious because it was free and it was an easy 2,000 gamer score because I played it on 360 Xbox One, and then I promptly deleted it because I'll never play that game again. The only thing I saw interesting was at the tail end of the trailer, someone took a turn wrong and then tires flew up. That's the only thing that's impressed me, because after so many generations of consoles and racing games, why have we not had like destructible environments and like something that's like supposed to be a simulation? Arcade racers, yeah, fine, destructible environments, but it won't be done in sim games because like no company will sign off. It's like, we don't want our cars to look all smashed. That's why Burnout never had like licensed cars. They always had approximations because no company ever wanted their intellectual property to be damaged. Up next, no one was surprised by this. Dark Souls 3 officially announced because it got leaked a week ago. It's not coming out this year because Bloodborne came out, so it's going to come out next year. I wonder though, is that now the hardcore are going to play this. I mean, you're going to go on Twitch, Man vs. Game is going to be playing this for the next eternity. He's not going to play anything else. Like the hardcore will keep playing it, but as for like the casual looking in, I'm like, is franchise fatigue starting to set now in this type of game? Like, I don't know a whole lot of elements of the Souls series that makes it different from when it began. Like, I've got Demon's Souls. I've tried it. I fell off of it, and then I'm like completely lost. And I accidentally struck one of the merchants, and now she's constantly trying to kill me unless I kill her. So I am gonna have to do a new playthrough of that. And I got Dark Souls when it was free for Games for Gold, but I haven't touched it. Like I said, for an outsider looking in, for someone who has been playing it, it's like, if you do play, please let me know if you feel that it's franchise fatigue at this point. I don't know. As an outsider looking in, it just seems like that to me. Tom Clancy's The Division gameplay demo was like 2 years ago, even last year, and now it's just another goddamn trailer, and like the beta will be available at the end of the year. It's like, so this is getting. I think they did announce that they pushed it back till 2016, but like, oh my god, like how far away do you have to push this? Rainbow Six Siege, the 5v5 terrorist hunter type game is coming out in October, and I thought it was quite funny is that he's gonna offer. If you buy Siege, you'll get Rainbow Six Vegas and Vegas 2 for free. Playable because it's going to be backwards compatible on Xbox One. And I thought that was kind of cool because I actually was playing through Vegas the other night there, and that was an okay game. The thing is that I'm wondering if Kinect will allow you to do the face thing, because I'm pretty sure Xbox Live Vision camera is not going to work with that game. And it's been hard. I've been hard pressed to try to find one of those because I wanted to do one for couples play, like me and Melanie playing through like Terrorist Hunt or through the campaign, and I want to put our faces on the characters, right? So yeah, that's we'll have to wait on that. They next showed off Gigantic is that they're free to play. I think it's a MOBA. I'm not sure. We'll have to see. We'll have to wait and see on that. And then we just got a flurry of the ID at Xbox games, so the indie developer games. I'm not gonna rattle them all off because they went by too fast. I will say though, it's seen Ark, the dinosaur survival game that's on Steam right now. That's coming to Xbox One, which I'm actually intrigued by that. So some of the indie devs came on for a couple of minutes to show off their game. From the developers of Gone Home came to Tacoma, which is just another FPS walk until the game ends type of game. I'm not really interested in it. Whenever I see people play Gone Home or Stanley Parable, I'm just like, what's the hook? You're just walking until the game ends. Those don't seem fun to me. Ashen, a co-op puzzle platformer from what I can see. Creeps me out that the protagonists have no face. They look like the Question from the Justice League. Beyond Eyes, it's the artsy, I'm gonna say this, internet darling game that's coming out. You play as a blind Asian girl who has to use her other senses. So basically, this is like Daredevil Origins. That's what they should call it, Daredevil Origins. Because you use the other sense to see. Finally, we saw a lot more of Cuphead, the side-scroller adventure game that looks like a 1930s cartoon, and man, does it ever look good. Like, it looks like a 1930s cartoon. So now, this kind of scares me a little bit. Xbox is doing their own Steam Early Access program, a game preview program. So basically, you buy a game that's not finished. And you also run the risk of it not being finished. So I want to know is if they're going to go with the same exact model that Steam has gone with, where you buy early access. If the game doesn't get made, too bad, you're out cash. Or are they going to be like, hey, the developer just told us great, thanks for your support. They can't make the game. How much did you spend on this? Okay, we'll either refund it to you, or we'll give you credit and buy a finished game off of the store. They put that money towards like Shovel Knight or Rogue Legacy or something. Probably won't happen. That's what scares me. Until I get more information on it, I don't know. One of the first games they announced is from the creator of DayZ. Actually, DayZ will be in early access. He's talking about some game called Ion, where it just keeps zooming out of Earth, and there's like space stations. It's very, very vague. Like, that's why I can't get too hyped with teaser trailers, because they don't give you enough information about what the game is, and I'm just not enough information to go on. A game that will make my wife pee her pants as soon as she sees it. Unfortunately, she's at work right now, so she couldn't see this live. Rise of the Tomb Raider gameplay demo, which it looks like Tomb Raider. Jonah's back. Samoa Jonah, as I call him, because he looks like Samoa Joe. Well, not anymore. He's got like a thick beard now, and interesting enough, I don't know. Could this be multiplayer co-op, because she seemed pretty dependent on Jonah in those scenes. Basically, it wasn't a whole lot of tomb raiding. It was just basically like the ice pick climbing, which you've seen in the first Tomb Raider. It looks pretty, you know, a little volumetric. What's that term? It's like volumetric hair, something like that. So it's coming out November 10th. I'm still waiting on the pre-order because Melanie saw what the collector's edition was and that statue, and I'm just like, we're definitely getting it. Don't worry. Like, for her hardcore collecting of Tomb Raider, we are getting that. So, and probably this one, besides backwards compatibility, this got me the most hype. And I'm still racking my, and I guess I shouldn't rack my head around it. It's because other companies have done this before, but Rare is finally, since last year when Phil Spencer said, fuck the Kinect, it's not working, take it out of the bundle, we'll make the console cheaper, and we'll never speak of Kinect again. Like, we tried, we failed, let's move on. Now Rare's like, well, we don't have to make Sports Rival anymore? Nope. What are we gonna do? It's like, port all of your old games onto Xbox One. So we're getting a Rare collection, $30 for 30 games, and a whole lot of them are old Nintendo 64 and NES games. Like, we're gonna get Battletoads, Solar Jetman, Snake Rattle and Roll. Fuck, what else is Rare that I have on my shelf? We're gonna get Perfect Dark. The fuck would you show Banjo-Kazooie nuts and bolts. I'm pretty sure Banjo-Kazooie and Banjo-Tooie will be on there, because they were on Xbox 360. Maybe Perfect Dark Zero for those that cared, but I guess it was Shay long time ago. Camino will be on there. Viva Pinata games. Here's a KI Gold, which was an N64 exclusive, so that's gonna be on that. Like, here's another opportunity for me to get another Killer Instinct, because I own every physical version of Killer Instinct right now. Like, I have the Game Boy version, I have the Super Nintendo version, I have the KI Gold, and now I have them all on the Xbox One, so this is another one I can add to my collection. Like, I love Old Rare. So, I was trying to say, oh yeah, RC Pro-Am, maybe RC Pro-Am 2 is going to be on there. Conker's Bad Fur Day. If it's, like, I can't remember the screenshot, it might have been Live and Reloaded. Please don't make it Live and Reloaded. Make it the N64 version. Or even have both. I don't care if you have both on there. Just, you know, if the N64 version's on there, that'll be awesome. I'll be eternally grateful to Rare for that. And it kind of made sense, because, like, I saw in the beginning of the show, Phil Spencer had a t-shirt zipped up. And you know Phil Spencer, he always likes to wear t-shirts of stuff that he's going to promote. And when they're being at one of the Microsoft conference, when they're talking about Xbox and Windows 10, and then they're like, hey, you know why I'm wearing this Battletoads shirt? Battletoads in Shovel Knight. So after all the Rare announcement, he came out, he unzipped it, and he's just like, Rare t-shirt, yeah, Rare's back. We're bringing it back. Because I think they looked at Ukulele and they're just like, fuck, people really want your old shit. He's just like, well, let's make our old shit. Done. Do it. So then the new head of Rare, who I guess was never part of the older Rare, came out and it's just like, it's been 30 years since Rare's been in existence. And we want to bring back the games that you guys love. But we also want to, you know, push forward and give a new experience. And they gave out something called Sea of Thieves, which kind of looks like a FPS Pirates MMO. It kind of like you're going for treasure, you're fighting skeletons, you're on ships. Looks like they took all the cool parts of Black Flag minus the assassin versus Templar thing and just fleshed that out into a game with more cel-shady, cartoony looking things that Rare in the back of the day was known for. So that actually looks intriguing to me. I'll be interested to see more about that. Fable Legends, the free-to-play 5v1 MOBA type thing. I can't remember it because I have so fallen off of Fable. Like, I loved Fable 2. Never played Fable 1 all that much, but Fable 2 was really awesome. Haven't played 3 yet, but I heard shit. Even though John Cleese is your butler. And then, like, Heroes, I think, was, like, the side-scrolling arcade game. I don't know. Looks interesting. They talked about the Oculus and the Xbox 360 or Xbox One controller being bundled with it. You can stream Xbox One games by streaming it to your Windows 10 machine and then through the Oculus. Like, it's just this weird, complicated thing. I don't think I'll have Oculus support rather than, you know, turning your head will do the camera movement. And then they showed off HoloLens, which I heard a little bit about at the last conference a few months ago and didn't really think too much of it. But then Mojang came out and was like, hey, we're developing a new Minecraft for just this. And she's like, I'm going to play it on my Surface, and he's going to play it through HoloLens. And they had this weird camera rig that was feeding the image of what he was seeing and through the YouTube feed. And it looked crazy because it was like, okay, I'm playing it on a screen on my like the screen is up on my wall, and that's what I'm playing. That's what I'm looking through on the first person. But I don't want to do that. And then he looks at the table and he's like, create world, and like the world he built like came to life. He could zoom in, zoom out, give commands, and be like, all right, lightning strike. Oh, here's some zombie pigmen. Lightning strike. Let's do some TNT. Ray tweeted out. He's like, oh yeah, that was fun, but where's the Tower of Pimps? I think that would be really, really, really crazy. I mean, that's good. It's a cool personal experience. Like, I always said that, like, gaming, I think right now, as far as, like, graphics, the only thing that the gaming can do right now is get the graphics better. Like, the graphics keep getting better and better and better and better. Gameplay pretty much stays away. Holographics definitely are the way of the future. I mean, who needs a controller in your hand when you have a holodeck? Like, if I can convert this room into a holodeck, I could play any game I want as me. Like, I could go through World 1 of Super Mario Brothers as me. You could play around with gravity, you could do all this stuff. But again, of course, we all know what we'd use the holodeck for. Fucking. I mean, that's what most people in Star Trek did, and they had like, you got holo addiction, buddy. It's like, no, I'm fine. It's like, why are you spending the night in the holodeck? Like, I don't know. I like holographic sheets better than real sheets. Oh, that's stupid. But yeah, it looks really cool, and I'm interested to see where it goes. And I guess like the real world applications too. I remember seeing like people like bringing up the weather or whatever. They're doing Minority Report shit. No surprise, Rod Ferguson comes out from I can't remember the name of the Coalition. I think is this new studio that took over for Gears. Basically announced what everyone knew and didn't waste any time. He's just like, you guys seen the leak? It's Gears Ultimate Edition coming in 2 months. It's actually going to be released in August, which is crazy. I will say though, unfortunately, I won't be picking up day one because I've already played it a bunch of times. I have it for the 360. I don't really care about. It's still like developers stop touting 1080p 60 frames per second. Nobody cares. Only the hardest of the hardcore care, but for the casual consumer, nobody cares. Like most people don't know what 1080p 60 FPS means anyway, or whatever. It's like nobody cares. No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So yeah, he just got it to the point. It's like, yeah, Ultimate Edition coming out in 2 months. Like, if it's less than 30, I'll probably pick it up. If it's anything more than that, sorry, it's way too much for one game. It's too much, and it just sounds like it's Gears 1. It's not going to be 2 and 3. If it's 1, 2, and 3, I can warrant a full retail price. But if it's just the one game, I'm not paying 60, 70. Hey, Canada, we're about to pay $80 for our game soon. We're going to be right up there with Australia, like getting butt fucked by the way our dollar is right now. So, I don't know. We're going to Maine next week for shopping. I might smuggle some games over the border, maybe. And then he announced Gears 4. Not Gears of War 4. Gears 4. Which, I don't know if this is, like, it was just a guy and a girl, 2-person squad, and they were hunting some type of, it looked like a locust dog, and then there's, like, a windstorm. I really don't know. Like, to be honest, if I'm gonna be honest, like Gears was my favorite one of my favorite franchises on the 360. I mean, me and my buddy Remy love Gears. Like, it's our favorite one of our favorite franchises. But then just it didn't come out as frequently as like Assassin's Creed. But before Judgment came out, we were all feeling like fatigue. And he said it himself. He's just like, Judgment was okay, but it wasn't like something spectacular. I haven't even played it yet. I got it for free for the game for gold, but I haven't even played it yet. So we'll have to wait and see. So yeah, that was the end. And then Phil's like, we're gonna have daily streams for Microsoft. So if you want more information on other games, stay tuned to that. And they're also gonna be showing world premieres and like announcing more games to the floor. So it's just like, you had 90 minutes. It's funny, you had 90 minutes to get all your shit in, and you still couldn't get it in. Now, as I said before, solid B plus. Peter Moore really tripped and fell on his fucking face. I'm ashamed to see what the EA press conference will be later, which I will not be watching. I'll be watching the Sony one, and I'll give you guys my thoughts on that as well. Even though I don't own a PS4, I am excited for what's coming out for it, and also maybe seeing, are they going to top the backwards compatibility, because you do have the Gaikai service, the PlayStation Now, but unless you have reliable internet streams, and like sometimes like streaming a game over can be laggy. I mean, on live wasn't all that great unless you have like the fastest internet possible. So I'm interested to see how that goes. Like if they can come out and say your back catalog of PlayStation Store purchases will now be transferable over to the PlayStation 4. So if you bought Final Fantasy 7, 8, and 9 on your PlayStation 3 and enjoy it on that, or your PSP or your Vita, you can now enjoy it on your PlayStation 4. So they have to make that type of announcement. I hope they can, because this is one of Xbox's biggest things, is that finally we can get backwards compatibility. And I see some people, and I had to stay off Twitter for a while because a lot of people are just being like snarky fucking assholes, and I was just like, oh, Jesus Christ. Like, you can tell who the fanboys are and who's like, I'm just like, Let's try and enjoy everything. Like, this is our Christmas. Let's enjoy everything everyone has to offer. Try to. Except for Peter Moore. That fucking thing was horrible. So I'll get into my thoughts on that. It might be a little bit later because I do have a family function to go to tonight. So I don't know if I'll be able to watch it live, but I'll keep you posted anyway. But yeah, what were you guys most impressed of? Thoughts, comments, leave them down below. I'm going to read them all. I'm going to try to reply as much as I can. Fortunately, like I said, I won't be able to tonight because I do have family function. Here we're gearing up for a wedding. It's coming up at the end of the week. This is a busy fucking week for me as far as like media and, you know, getting all this stuff ready for the wedding and like other things. Like it's a crazy week. But yeah, thoughts, comments, leave them down below. We're going to keep tracking on with more E3. So Sony's tonight, Nintendo's tomorrow morning, and I think Square Enix is right afterwards. I might give that a watch because I do like to see some more about 15, because 15 does look a little bit interesting. I don't know. Before I leave, though, what are your guys' thoughts of no Call of Duty on stage? Call of Duty has been a mainstay of Microsoft press conferences for years, because they've always had exclusivity with DLC. Has that changed with Black Ops 3? We're going to find out. Probably on Sony. If Call of Duty comes out on Sony, then we know that the DLC exclusivity has either switched parties or is no longer viable. It's going to be available day one for all platforms. Because I think they're losing out on... And that, maybe why that's because their ship's sinking a little bit with the Call of Duty franchise. They're losing money with every title. Maybe that's the thing. It's like, okay, we get away from the exclusivity of map packs and to say, hey, it's available for everything right now. Who knows? We'll see. But, again, I'm trying to sign off again, but thoughts, comments, leave them down below. Thank you guys for watching me ramble about an E3 press conference. Watch me ramble some more later tonight when Sony does theirs. See ya.